Hi, I'm Angus Kress Gillespie, your host for East Brunswick Television. I'm here today with the Reverend Roy Bundy and educator Kim Hunter, both tribal representatives for the Powhatan Renape people of New Jersey. Their tribal nation has endured despite war, disease, prejudice, and cultural disintegration. The Powhatan Renape migrated up from what is now Virginia and originally settled in Morrisville and Delaire in what is now Pennsauken Township in Camden County. At one point, almost 90% of the population of Morrisville were Powhatan Renape people, some 42 homes. In 1980, the state of New Jersey recognized the Powhatan Renape Nation. In addition, in 1982, the tribe negotiated an agreement with the state of New Jersey to take over some 350 acres in Burlington County. That land was designated as the Rancocas Indian Reservation. Reverend Bundy and educator Hunter have both been very active in preserving their tribal traditions, and it's my pleasure to welcome them here to our studio today. Kim, you inherited a great legacy and tradition. Tell us, who are your people?
The Powhatan people?
Yes.
Okay, the Powhatan people come originally from the Tidewater areas of Virginia, Maryland, coming up the coast. They are a confederacy of once were 32 tribes. Now there are 8 remaining. We are descendants of those Powhatan people. As we've traveled north, we migrated to New Jersey, one of our areas, and located and landed in Morrisville, New Jersey, right here, and where we've been in the mid-1800s.
So, Roy, how did the Powhatan Renape people survive the invasion of the English people?
Well, we are survivors by nature. I mean, there weren't any supermarkets, so we knew how to hunt and fish and make way for the incoming season. So we had to prepare for winter, summer, and the like. So we just kicked into survival mode. And most human beings have it, this survival mode, but we kicked it into high gear and we did what we had to do, and sometimes we had to leave our area to survive.
And did the adoption of Christianity help with that survival?
Well, I guess if you line up 10 theologians, you get 10 different answers. In a sense, it helped us survive because it brought us together under one theme, the Christian theme, the gospel theme. And on another note, on the other side, sometimes religion was used to work against us.
Yeah.
We'd be handed the Bible and say, we'll give you the Bible, but we're going to take this land. And usually, if someone has justification for taking things, you could find a scripture and twist it and turn it so it makes it seem like, oh yeah, well,
it's perfectly okay.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay. Yeah.
Roy, how did the Powhatan Renape people avoid that migration out west that so many Native people were forced into?
Well, I think a portion of the Nanticotes and the Powhatans, a few migrated out west, but since we had the relationship with the Nanticoke, which is Maryland and southern Delaware, who had in turn relationship with the Lenape people that northern Delaware, New Jersey, and parts of parts of New York, I think it was only natural to go to where you already had an established relationship with the surrounding tribes.
And just talk about that. As we came north, there were Lenape people already in our area, so it would just be natural for us to join in that community.
Yeah, it's a very close relationship.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And Kim, were the Quaker communities helpful?
I think you will find in history that the Quaker community has helped Native people throughout history. And even today, as you look at some of the close communities, you can see where they had an impact. Christianity helping Native American people throughout our generations and throughout the time period that we've moved throughout our country. There are landmarks in certain communities where you see that the Quakers helped Native American people.
Roy, a naive question. Did the Powhatan Renape live in teepees?
No, no, you have to go out west for that paradigm. We lived in what is called longhouses. Longhouses. And we didn't wear the feathered hair bonnets and things like that. So usually when people talk about Indians, you think of teepees and you think about the war bonnets. So no, we didn't have any of that.
Did the Powhatan Renape have canoes?
Yes.
Okay.
We had canoes.
Dugouts.
Dugout canoes. Okay. We cut down the tree and you
hollow it out.
Hollow it out.
Yes.
Yeah. Big project.
Huge project.
Were the Powhatan Renape nomads?
I think they would move according to the seasons. When it got hot, they would like to move closer to the water. And then when it got cold, we would move inland and sit up further away from the coastline.
Yeah. Kim, as American Indians today, do you get welfare checks?
No, I'm not going to say that we could all get welfare checks. Native American people work like any other group of people and are educated and go up their day-to-day lives. You know, and so that myth that every tribe gets a check is what it is, a myth.
It might be nice, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah.
So, Roy, do you live on a reservation?
No. Again, a myth. I think the only reservation there was in the state of New Jersey was the Brotherton Reservation. That was Lenape. But we lived in small communities. The ancestors of the ancient Powhatan people, like Marsville is a small community. You go down south to the Nanticoke Lenapes. They live in a small community. They have a piece of ground that they call their quote-unquote reservation, but no one lives there.
Yeah.
They hold their meetings and things like that. But no, we lived in houses with gardens and grass and flowers and things like that.
So, and I guess as you assimilate it into the communities, this is what you would see. Yeah. You would not see a teepee of some sort. So,
Kim, do the Powhatan Renape run casinos down in South Jersey?
No, they did not. No casinos. No, we did not run
intention to
No.
Do you sell tobacco?
No, we do not sell tobacco.
Do you sell alcohol?
We do not sell alcohol.
Oh.
These are all myths.
Oh, my goodness.
Not every tribe sells tobacco or alcohol or has a casino.
So it's simply not true.
Right. Not true at all. No.
So, Roy, last time I looked up, there were 562 federally recognized Indian tribes in the United States, and even more that don't have official recognition.
Right.
Can you speak to the diversity of these groups?
Well, each tribe has its own fingerprint, our own footprint. That's why it's hard to generalize about things like religious practices because you have people who may be Christian, but they also add a portion of their tribal religious practices into the Christian worship experience. So each tribe is different. I know we like to lump things into one big category, but I think if you stopped up on any of the different places where these 562 tribes are located, you'd find something different, all under a broad banner of religiosity.
And correct me if I'm wrong, even among the Powhatan original people in Virginia, there's the Rappahannock, the James, the Pamunkey.
Right.
Mattaponi, Chickahominy, yes.
It's very hard to generalize even
Right.
about Powhatan
Absolutely.
people.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, even though we have this diversity, there are some practices that are well-nigh universal. And I'd like to talk about some of them. Kim, can you tell us about smudging?
Okay. Smudging is often used to purify an area, right? Before going into the area or coming out of the area, you'll smudge. You can smudge with sweet grass. You know, it's just, it's a form of almost like a religious ceremony, you know, to purify, smudging an area.
Roy, can you speak to the sweat lodge?
Once again, it's all about purification. I know down on the Lenape, the Nanticoke Lenape grounds, they are building a sweat lodge. We never had one in Rancocas, but it's all about the purification of an individual before they go before the Creator. So it's about purification and getting your thoughts and your anatomy right so that you can stand before the Creator and pray.
Yeah. Kim, Roy mentioned Rancocas, and I know that you were very active for a long
Yes.
period of time,
I worked
organizing
there.
events and setting things up.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I was there for many years as one of the educators as a part of my position there. Yes, we had a festival that I'm sure you've heard of, one of the largest on the East Coast. And one of the reasons for having this festival was to bring native tribes from all over.
So it was
the Americas.
pan-tribal.
Yes, it was North, South, and Central America. And not only, I think it's interesting.
That was a really big deal.
Very big. And the reason why, because often we read about Native American people in the past. When we have people see those in the present and what we're thinking about in the future, it's very different than what you think you know of the past. What we tried to do for this festival was to educate everyone. And we would have students that would come from different school districts that would come here, and we would tell the teachers, tell your students to write the questions they want to ask someone here at the festival, one of the artists. That is a wonderful way of educating. It's a wonderful opportunity. And as an educator, I felt that that was the most important thing that we did, as well as sharing the culture and the traditions. We could actually have hands-on where a student could come, or anyone could come, and speak to someone from another nation, and not just read about it, but actually see it and learn about it firsthand.
So how many days was that event?
5 days. We would have 2 days for youth groups and students, and 5 days for the general public. We did it twice a year, October and May.
Nice, it's sort of fall and spring.
Fall and spring.
Yeah. Roy, again, talking about pan-tribal traditions, can you speak about the drumming?
Well, drumming, again, is very instrumental, and it's all about connecting with the world that the Creator has made. The drum kind of is connected with the heartbeat. So as the heart beats, the drum beats. And it's kind of the foundation of any gathering. And it's hard to do. It may look easy, but Dr. Norwood, who you've had here, used to have me and some other people doing some drumming lessons, and it's harder than it looks. But it's very instrumental. I mean, in our church services, when we have a Native American church service, the drumming and the dancing is at the heart of that service.
And can I just say that,
Of course.
when we hear drumming, we often hear of this.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Hollywood. The drum beat is what Reverend Roy Bundy said. It's the heartbeat. If your heart is skipping, you may be having a heart attack, but it's a steady beat of the heart. That's the drum.
Yeah, in the Western movies, you hear.
Right. You
Yeah.
see a lot of this, and it's really not true.
Or you see the cameras up on the cliff and it's looking down at the stagecoach.
Yeah,
Trouble's ahead.
Yeah.
Kim, can you talk about the significance of the eagle?
Okay. Oh, the eagle is the bird. Okay, it's our spiritual being as far as what it means for nature. The eagle's strong. The eagle gives us wings to fly. That's why the eagle was so important to the Native American culture.
And it's been adopted as sort of an official symbol of the United States.
Yeah. How ironic is that? And the eagle kind of represents the concept of our prayers being taken to the Creator through the upward flight of the eagle.
And Roy, can you speak to the 4 dimensions? North,
Four
south,
colors, 4 dimensions.
north, south, east,
and
west. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we usually in each direction is associated with a color, and it just lets those around and those who would observe that there are 4 general directions, and each one has a specific meaning. I don't know if you can
And
speak
a
to
race and a different races that we really are come together as one. Okay, you have the different races which are looked in part of the colors and the directions.
red,
and
yellow,
so,
black,
and so
white.
we're intermingled in that, and we're one. We're in one circle, the 4 directions.
I see. Okay. What about Turtle Island? Can you speak to that?
I think with Turtle Island, we talked about that's what was called in North America. It was called Turtle Island. You know.
Yeah, the concept that the turtle popped out of the water, and upon that turtle's back, the nations were formed. So it's very interesting and important mammal in our existence.
And Kim, you've talked about it before, but can you expand a little bit the relationship that Native people have with nature in general and animals in particular?
Okay. We look to the animals many times for direction. You know, if you look at let's say the squirrel, how he would hide his food, you know, and squirrel it away. You know, any people look to the animals. You know, if they are part of us, like the sky, the water, the earth. We're all one, and so yes, we give respect to the animals. That is important in Native American life. The animals are important to us.
Roy, in my reading, I've come across the concept of tribal sovereignty. Can you speak to that?
Well, like you mentioned, there's 560 or 580 federally recognized tribes and many more state-recognized tribes. But within those 580 or 560 and the rest of the state-recognized tribes, although we are under the broad umbrella of Native Americans, we have our own individual. Each tribe, each group has its own fingerprint, and we recognize the totality of Native people, but we also recognize and honor the individual tribes that make up the totality of the people.
And Kim, do Native Americans pay federal taxes?
Yes, they do.
They had better. They'd be in a nice American jail.
Yes.
Roy, is there anything being done by the Powhatan Renape in terms of language preservation?
We have had individuals who still study and speak the language. They've done workshops in the past. And we sure would like to see that going on further.
Yes.
Also in southern Delaware, the Nanticoke people, they also had an expert in the language. Pretty much, for all intents and purposes, the language is on life support. It's pretty well dead.
It's tough.
It's tough. And so anybody that can speak the language and wishes to pass that knowledge on is always welcome.
Yes, yeah. And as far as our brothers in the north, the Ramapo, you know, they're working on their language, but a lot has been lost, you know, through the movement. But yes, you know, we would cherish to have our language.
And Kim, do Native Americans, are they entitled to a free college education?
I can say this, that anyone that is applying for any type of college assistance, you may receive some free money. Not saying that all people and all Native American people will be able to receive free dollars to go to college. There are various grants and scholarships, just like any other.
But you have to hustle. You can't.
But you have to be able to apply, and you have to be able to, you know, to go through the process.
Yeah.
But someone just giving you a free ride, I don't think that it's possible.
Okay. I want to turn our attention to some of the artifacts that you brought along.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about the feather fan?
Okay. Feather fan, many of the women use the feather fan. Everything there is natural. And they also used it in dancing. So getting yourself cooled down as well as a part of the traditional dance.
So
fan.
It has a wooden handle.
Okay. This one right here, I think has skin. Okay. With some leather, and we have some feathers, and this is all natural. We have our beads, and it's
to cool yourself down.
Yes, but also using in dancing.
What kind of feathers are they?
These are some turkey feathers.
And what is the animal fur?
This right here, I think this is rabbit here.
Rabbit.
And everything here is been made. Everything has been handmade here.
Can we talk about the ceremonial pipe?
Okay.
Well, the pipe was used usually when there was the gathering of quote-unquote officials from various tribes or various officials within a particular tribe. They would kind of set the tone, the atmosphere with the pipe. Also, whoever had the pipe was allowed to speak. So when it was your turn to speak, pass you the pipe, and as long as you were holding it, or you take a puff and holding it, only you could speak.
So you wouldn't run the risk of being interrupted.
Right, right.
Which was a courtesy.
So it's sort of like a part of a talking stick. Yeah. So then you would pass the pipe on, and whoever got the pipe, it was their turn to speak, but they wouldn't start to speak immediately, because just in case the person that passed you the pipe had a second thought, an afterthought.
It's a courtesy. Yeah.
It's a courtesy.
Ah.
Yeah. So pipe had many uses.
All right, and then I think next I'd like to talk about this necklace.
Oh, all right. So Indian people are very resourceful people. They used every item that they had. This is an arrowhead, probably found right here in our area, because Reverend Bundy has a tray of arrowheads that were found right here, as far as Trenton and all the way down to South Jersey. And so this was a necklace. It's leather with a bead, and long before all the fancy necklaces came about, natural resources were used. Natural resources. And so this is an arrowhead necklace.
Very nice. And let me see, the turtle rattle.
Oh, I love the turtle rattle.
Oh.
All natural materials. This is horsehair. This is your turtle. Here, leather, your beads. And this was used in ceremonial dancing as well. But every part of the animal is utilized.
And
the people.
And is that a turkey feather again?
Turkey feather.
Yes.
Yeah.
The rattle.
Very nice. And the glass beads.
Now these are actually corn beads.
Oh, they're
Okay,
corn.
made from corn, natural corn.
Oh,
okay, with your leather strap. And so they would take the corn, they would dye it, made with some berries, and that was a necklace that the women use, a corn necklace.
Roy, you've spent many years collecting arrowheads, and you brought along a sample. Can you tell us about your collection?
Yes, this particular collection was found in and around the Trenton area. A colleague of mine who I used to work with at the Mercer County College, her father collected many, many arrowheads in that general area. And she gifted me with these particular arrowheads. And as you can see, they're various shapes and sizes. And just the concept of someone be able to chisel these arrowheads out of a native stone is just amazing. This, I think, is a spear head, and you have various arrowhead shapes. Now, I've also got a big collection from the area where the Nanticoats lived, the Choptank River and the Nanticoat River. I was on vacation one time, and my wife and I looked in the newspaper, and this guy says, I have arrowheads for sale. And lo and behold, $12,000 later, I kind of bought him out. So you could do a whole show just on the arrowheads and the various collections I have. But this is important to me because it's from New Jersey. And it speaks of the tribe, the Lenape people who were here, and also perhaps the Powhatan people who had migrated north and also participated in the making of these arrowheads. Things like this remind us of our past, and we're trying to use this as a kind of a springboard. Say, okay, we were there, we're still here, and let's look to the future and see where we can go. Still undergirding who we are and where we come from.
And holding on some of these traditions and trying to pass them on to the next generation.
Absolutely, yes. That's important because, one day we'll walk on, and unless we've planted a seed with our young people, the traditions will die.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Roy, Kim, I want to thank you for coming here to East Brunswick today and sharing your knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us, and we hope that we've added something to the discussion.
Good.